Hi, it's Paris from EpicReviewsTech channel, and I'm sad to report that I've returned my Galaxy Note 3 phone. I thought it was true love, but after a couple weeks of getting to know each other, it turned out it was more infatuation. So I'm back to using my old Google Galaxy Nexus phone, at least until the Nexus 5 comes out, hopefully in the next few days. I want to be first in line to order one of those. But what I really miss about the Note 3, when I'm working on this, is that screen. Both the size of it and just the intensity of the screen, which is so nice. So I kind of doubt I'll ever have a phone again that has a screen that nice, but that's okay. There were other things that were more influential in daily use that influenced my decision to send it back. Number one is just the size of the phone. The screen was wonderful having it so large, but that large a phone, it tipped the balance between a one-handed device and a two-handed device for me. And it had something to do with the balance of it. When you use something regularly, you get used to the feel of it and the balance, and you feel comfortable with it. You know just how it's going to respond. And with that, even though it had that faux leather backing, which I liked, it didn't feel slippery, but just it was so big with one hand, I always felt like it was going to tumble out of my hand, and so I wasn't comfortable using it unless I had two hands on it. Now I might have gotten used to it with more time and more usage, but the other factor was an even bigger one, and that's the Touch-Wiz overlay on the Android operating system. That's the Samsung software there. Improvements and enhancements that they've made so it's not pure Android. When you want to bring up your email program, when you want to take a picture, you do it the Samsung way. And that was just a daily source of aggravation for me. My first smartphone was a Google Nexus One, which is still in operation. One of my kids has that now. Pure Android phone. I've spent some time with the Nexus 4, which is pure Android, and the phone I use now, the Google Galaxy Nexus, pure Android. So I can go from phone to phone amongst those, and everything's right where it's supposed to be and where it makes sense for it to be. Going to the Samsung Touch-Wiz it's sort of like going to Windows 8. You know it's got to do all the stuff you want, but where is it? You got to, hover in weird corners to make things appear. At least that's how I feel about the Samsung overlay software. If you've had Samsung phones over the past few generations of phone, you would probably feel the same way going to a pure Android phone. You'd say, well, where's that feature? And how come when I do this, the thing doesn't come up? So I'm not saying one's better than the other necessarily. It's just I'm used to this operating system, and I like the way all the apps and the operating system work together and integrate and how they work, so I'm going to stick with the pure Android phone. That's why I'm next in line for the Nexus 5. And the Google Nexus 5 is still really a pure rumored phone. There's been no official announcement about it. Last week when there was that slip up on the Google Play Store and they temporarily had a page talking about it, made it look like it's really going to happen, and I'm counting on it happening. The price is supposed to be about $349 for the 16 gigabyte version. Some of the rumored specs on the Nexus 5 are actually comparable to what's on the top of the line Galaxy Note 3, especially the processor, the quad-core 2.3 gigahertz processor, which I noticed was really fast on the Note 3, but there was this tiny bit of lag in doing some things, and it was generally when I was doing something that involved that Touch-Wiz overlay. So I'm thinking you take that really blazingly fast processor, put it in a pure Android phone. I would imagine that in some benchmarks and some applications, the new Nexus 5 may actually be faster than the Note 3. And one of the coolest features of the new Motorola Moto X phone, I anticipate, is coming to the Nexus 5, and that's that always listening feature tied into Google Now, so that you can control the phone by voice even when the phone is in sleep mode. So if you're in sleep mode, lying in bed, you should be able to talk to your phone, tell it, okay, Google Now, to activate it, and tell it to play a particular song, and it'll play that song for you while you get up. If you're in the car and you need it to check on something, instead of trying to look down from the traffic to do the thing, you can just tell the phone and hopefully it'll take care of what you need. And the Nexus 5 is also rumored to be released in both a black and white model, and the white one looks really nice, at least on the mock-ups they have on the screen. It looks like a very attractive phone, but when you think about it, it's that white is mainly here on the back of the phone, and this is where you put the phone down and it bumps into and rubs into everything, and it's on your sweaty palm all the time. So as nice as it looks on the screen, I think it's going to turn out to be like white pants. If you're at the store in the dressing room looking at them in the mirror, and they look really sharp. But when white pants meet reality, I think it might be a different story, because you actually have to sit down in the pants, you lean against things, the dog jumps up on you, and the white pants show everything. So I'm thinking the same with the white phone. Any little bit of dust or dirt or sweat is going to show up, so I think I'll probably go with black. And as soon as I get my hands on the Nexus 5, I'll be reviewing it inside and out. If you'd like to be notified when I put up those videos, click right here to subscribe now. As for when we can get our hands on this latest and greatest phone from Google, people have been saying, most recently November 1st looks likely, but it's already lunchtime on October 30th, and there's still no mention of it. Now, if they're not going to have an event where they have to invite people and get people to an event to do the announcement, they could just do it in a press release online saying, as of midnight tomorrow, the Nexus 5 will be going on sale. So it could still happen November 1st, but I suspect with all the hype that's gone on, without Google even having anything really to do with it, that they're going to want to play that up for as much as they can, and they're going to want to announce it at least a few days, a week beforehand, and get things all stirred up. But for those of us who don't want to switch over to the iPhone, for those of us who don't want to learn the Touch-Wiz system or whatever overlay other carriers put on the phone, those of us who want the pure Android experience, we're riled up enough already.